Hello and welcome. My name is Katsu and thank you for joining me tonight in another episode of Katsu Losing His Sanity. Between the last video and this one, I have played 6 runs and have failed them all, had to reset. 4 of them due to just impossible map RNG. If you don't get the crash site in your first 3 locations, you cannot. You will have somebody starving to death. There's no way around it. I had another run fail to just a random death because I couldn't produce enough food, even though I had hot houses up. And just the last one I failed because I forgot to put down the cookhouse, so I couldn't transform the food in time. And I just stopped the whole thing before anybody died because it would have not worked out. So we're once again gonna go through all the moves and rebuild everything from the first video. I'm gonna stick to the rules of this challenge. I'm not gonna reload, I'm not gonna reset, I'm just gonna rebuild. And I will fast forward whatever is now to come in a time lapse and put a link in the description so that you can skip to the end of it. The reason I'm doing this is again just to make sure that you guys see I'm not, safe reloading anything of the things I've done before. I want to play through this in one perfect run and make sure I stick to the rules. I have to admit, I'm sure you've noticed by now, I'm pretty fucking disappointed and frustrated because this thing is so much on razor's edge that any mistake, any forgotten building, any flip in the build order pretty much spills disaster for the run immediately, at least pre-day 15. So in hindsight, the first video was pretty much perfect. Honestly, that was like an amazing run right there, even though I didn't realize it at the time. And you might doubt this at this point, but I'm only putting up the runs after a certain point where I was confident I could do this without annoying you guys too much. But if I look at my hours played on Steam, this project, this one single challenge run is getting close to about 100 hours that I've spent on this. The build order you saw in the first video, and I just want to explain this quickly. Do you guys know the movie Groundhog Day? Because just to figure this one out, you basically have to fail a million times to find out what works and what doesn't. So, while you might not see this, my frustration comes from the perspective of knowing how slim the margin of error is in this. However, I'm super excited to bring you guys another try at this possible challenge. I'm sure we're gonna make this, and I'm not gonna give up on this. And I'm now gonna rebuild everything and flip to the point where things get interesting again. I suppose around day 20 or something like this. So feel free to skip everything that's coming. It's just for archiving purposes. But I'm excited, and I know this is gonna work out because I have made it work on extreme offline, without recording a video with save and reloading. It is possible. I know it is possible. I have done it, and I will do it again. So, without further ado, let's just, go through the moves. Okay. So, this video is going to be shorter than expected because I'm done with this shit. I've gotten screwed over by RNG, I've gotten screwed over by tiny alterations in my build over, I missed things here and there, and made some choices that I should not have made. Like for example here I built 4 workshops, which then basically caused me to not have enough engineers to stuff all my work posts. It also seems as if the scouting route that I took to focus on the crash site, then the lost expedition, then the sturdy shelter, and then 2 more locations without people, that I'm basically short on workers. Like I could need a few more engineers to keep people alive. I'm pretty much still on, you know, the basic 15 plus the lost expedition, which doesn't seem to be enough. I thought it would be better to not grow the colony and avoid doing that at all costs, so that they wouldn't need a lot of food. But and it was close, I suppose. I mean, if I keep this running and we reach the next day, there shouldn't be many more people dying except for that 1 person, 2 people. But that doesn't matter. It did not work. The automaton is there, everything else is pretty much okay, and as soon as you have the 2 hothouses running, you're good. But as you can see, I have a huge problem with sick people, and I am fairly sure that this is just a case of misallocation. I tried to speed up research, but at the same time I neglected my healthcare system. Lesson learned again, I suppose. That was about, I don't know what, 4 hours of tries and trial and error. I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you if you're still watching. Again, this is more for the archives than for an audience. I want to make sure that nobody can question the challenge once I'm done with this. And it's a little bit like the movie Groundhog Day. As I said it before, you just gotta try what doesn't work until you find what does. You can also see I switched the layout of the city a little bit. I started with the 2nd workshop in a location here where I know I can make it work efficiently. This space I'm keeping for a factory later on. And I'm quite happy with this actually. I'm going to keep it this way. Here I have another spot which should be large enough for another workshop. Yes it is. Which is also completely heated. But since there are different heat levels on these, you know, you have a... where is it? Base heating level of 2 on this, and you have a base heating level of 1 on this, also 1 on this. It's a bit tricky to put them all in the same area. It's not very efficient. So I'm gonna keep that in mind, take that into account. I'm gonna stick to this layout, because let's assume I could build thumpers. I think they have... well, let's see. No, I can't yet. But there should be enough space here, easily. For a coal thumper here in between the sawmill and these 2 depots, and then I can put another one here, and put another depot here, and another depot here. So I have a nice symmetric layout in the end, all covered by a heater, which is sort of important. So yeah, 1 more here. The thumper's covered, this one's covered, and I might squeeze in another heated. Yeah, I'm gonna... that is just unfortunate. So... yeah. This run is pretty much... it's much more on the edge than I thought. The first video I thought where pretty much everything went perfectly. All the scouting locations were optimal, all the building placement was fine. I didn't try you know, any experiments. I went for the standard layout I had tried before. That was pretty much smooth sailing until day 15, and I'm very happy with that guide. I think you should stick to that, and I will stick to that from now on. The problem is just that if your scouting locations are not exactly the same, and if you know some of the timings don't work out just exactly the way as before, you got to switch things up a little, and that you know is where all the difficulty comes from, to improvise in the right way. So yeah, I mean you can tell it's draining. But we're gonna stay optimistic. I'm looking forward to tomorrow, where I'm gonna try to not make any of the mistakes I made today again. Thank you so much for your time. It has been a pleasure, and please, people, stop dying. I'm looking forward to next time. Take care.